Good afternoon, everyone. Institute of Global Professionals IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable knowledge host for the afternoon. My name is Oritra Vashak and I am from Bangladesh. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and global. We are connected to more than 250 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professionals IGP is the training faculty department which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand there global labor market by providing professionals qualifications. Global Professionals is an educational institute that provides social work global recognized and reputable. We serve students and community resource providing holistic social work. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over distribute our service locally, nationally and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders and also for learners the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an accountable institution. IGP is one of the most famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product or human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we offer more than 100 premium service to free like create own portfolio, website, resume builder, cover letter, and motivation letter, and world knowledge platform for gathering knowledge which can update all the kids learning games, website free courses, convert sites, and many more. We have to empower to learn to meet their expectations and dreams and becomes happy. We implement several training programs, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professionals, trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by global renowned to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. To ensure excellent interaction, we arranged with qualified trainers, speakers, and instructors. We extended free service to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliations with universities and organizations in different countries. Virtual mouse signing with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create a legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is so we try to understand the need of today's generation and will serve them good research and practiced method. We must have a genuine concern for the learners. We represent diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session and professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering top quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill levels and values. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1309 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next. With your continuous support, we already completed 1309 webinars successfully. Wow. At present, we are going to start our 1310 webinars. Name is The Role of Cultural Event Teaching Strategies for Learners Engagement. And our today's speaker name is Sir Vicente Gasos and Miguel EDD. Before I hand over the stage to Sir, want to share a little bit about our speaker. He is an public school direct supervisor, depth vision of Malayvala City, Kajiang Malayvala City. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very for me to invite our IGP to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation.
Hello, good afternoon,
Hello, sir.
everyone. Hello, good
Sir,
afternoon. Thank you for being here in this webinar session. Thank you, sir, also for that introduction. And it's my pleasure to be here this
sir,
afternoon.
on behalf
And
of sir, on behalf of IGP Knowledge Seekers, wants to hear from you about you, sir.
once again, good afternoon. And it's my pleasure and honor to be here with you this afternoon and to share some thoughts and insights on the importance of culturally relevant teaching. So I hope that all of us will be engaged in this learning engagement this afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Sir, now the stage is yours. You can start your presentation.
So once again, to all the viewers and yes, all the subscribers of IGP, Institute of Global Professionals, I'm really very happy and grateful for this opportunity given to me. This has been my second engagement for this year, and I'm so happy given this time also to share some thoughts on the role of culturally relevant teaching strategies for learners' engagement. So it's really very important for us, educators and professionals, to understand culturally relevant teaching strategies for learners engagement, considering that we are working in a society wherein we are composed of diverse nationality and culture. So that is why, in order to work harmoniously with everyone, we need to understand culturally the context of our learners. So this afternoon, my presentation outline is, first, I'll be giving you some background on the culturally relevant teaching and its importance. Of course, we will have to define what is the definition of culturally relevant teaching, and then, of course, the importance of culturally relevant teaching and importance of culturally relevant teaching strategies and ways so that we can promote culturally relevant teaching. And also, this afternoon, our learning objectives is that, first, after the session, it is my goal that we will all define culturally relevant teaching. Second is understand the essence of culturally relevant teaching. Third is understand the importance of culturally relevant teaching strategies. And last, identify the ways to promote culturally relevant teaching strategies for learners' engagement. And let's understand properly why culture is very important. Culturally relevant teaching strategies play an important role in engaging learners by making connections between the student's cultural background and the content being taught. This is very important because we can teach our learners if we can understand them in the context of their culture. This approach also recognizes that students come from diverse background and have unique perspectives that can enhance learning experience. Meaning, if teacher knows how to understand, or if the teacher was able to understand the learner's diverse background, especially their cultural background, then also they have this they can have this opportunity also to enhance the learning experience of that particular learner. So that is why it's very important to really understand the learner's culture. Next, when teachers are used culturally relevant teaching strategies, they acknowledge and incorporate their students' cultural knowledge and experiences into the learning process. So this is the beauty of understanding the culture of our learners, because as teachers, if we can understand properly the culture of our learners, then we can also incorporate their culture and even their cultural knowledge and their experiences for them to become productive inside the teaching and learning session. Okay? Then, one of the main benefits of culturally relevant teaching strategies is that they may help to create a sense of belongingness and also validation for students. So, meaning, we can really set a very good learning environment if we consider the culture of our learners inside the classroom. Now, by recognizing and incorporating the cultural backgrounds, teachers can build a rapport with the learners or the students and establish a positive classroom environment. And all we know that if we can establish a positive cultural learning environment, then our learners will become also active inside the classroom. So this can also lead to increase the students' engagement. Of course, by doing that, they can also be motivated to learn more inside the classroom. And of course, we can also enhance and make them active in their academic engagement inside the classroom. So that is why it's very important to really set and understand the culture of our learners in the context of their culture. Now, the question is, what is culturally relevant teaching? So we need to understand what is the important, or what is the cultural relevant teaching. So culturally relevant teaching refers to an approach to education that recognizes and values the diverse cultural backgrounds and experiences of the students. So, meaning, when we see culturally relevant teaching, that refers to how we approach the modality of the learning delivery that recognizes the values and the diverse cultural background of our learners. It also involves creating a learning environment that is inclusive, respectful, responsive to the cultural, linguistic, and the social needs of learners. So, meaning we are also contemplating understanding the culture's diverse cultural background and in the different dimensions for us to effectively make an intervention inside the classroom. Then, culturally relevant teaching also emphasizes the importance of acknowledging and incorporating students' cultural background into classroom instruction, materials, and resources. It's very important that we will be able also to learn to contextualize and localize. And this is one of the most important feature of the teaching and learning that for the learners to learn in a way that we wish to for the learners to learn, then the good entrance to that or introduction to that learning is recognizing their culture. Next is why importance or what is the importance of culturally relevant teaching? Culturally relevant teaching is important for several reasons. So, I have prepared reasons why importance to understand cultural relevant teaching. First is, or point number one, it is important to have culturally relevant teaching because it promotes inclusion and creates inclusiveness. It promotes inclusion and equity inside the classroom. So meaning, it creates if we are having if we understand if we as teachers was able to understand the cultural relevant teaching or the relevant teaching culturally, then it can promote inclusive and equitable learning environment where all learners feel valued and respected regardless of their cultural background and identity. Especially this time that we are living in a culture of backlash, it's very important that we will really have to advocate uh, this cultural relevant teaching inside the classroom so that all the learners can feel uh, accepted inside the classroom. Then another thing is that culturally relevant teaching also improve engagement and achievement of the learners. So it helps learners experience connect their own experiences and cultural background to their learning, making it more meaningful and relevant. In other words, this can improve their engagement and academic achievement. So when we were able to recognize learners' background, then that would be a gateway for them to improve their engagement and achievement inside the classroom. Third is why it's very important to engage in relevant teaching or culturally relevant teaching because it encourages cultural competence. It encourages learners to understand cultural context and cultural Hello once again. Good afternoon. I'm sorry for that interruption because we have blackout in our area. Okay, I think we can proceed now. While it's very important to understand culturally relevant teaching, okay, so as I have said a while ago, it's very important to understand culturally relevant teaching because, first, it promotes inclusion and equity. Second is it improves engagement and achievement inside the classroom. Third is it encourages cultural background and even cultural competence inside the classroom. Fourth is build positive relationship. In other words, it's very important that we can build positive relationship inside the classroom. So that is why teachers should really have to build positive environment inside the classroom by recognizing cultural differences of the learners. And so, it's very important also that we need to understand that by doing this, we are empowering our learners. And empowering our learners, we are helping them develop a positive sense of identity and self-esteem by validating the cultural experiences and recognizing their strength and their talents as individual. Then, of course, overall, culturally relevant teaching recognizes and values the cultural identity of learners and aims to create a learning environment that promotes academic, social, and emotional well-being. So that is why it's very important in order for us to really exist in total understanding regardless of our diversity. Now, why we need to understand the learner's culture. So I think this is one of the dimensions that we need to understand. Understanding the learner's culture is an essential component of culturally relevant teaching. So that is why I'll be talking about some points to keep in mind in order to understand the learner's culture. We have to understand that culture is dynamic and multifaceted. What does it mean? Culture is not static or monolithic concept. It is multifaceted and can be influenced by a range of factors such as difference in geography, history, religion, language, and socioeconomic status. Therefore, it is important to approach learner culture with an open mind and avoid making assumptions and stereotyping, especially that teachers are one of the best advocates of culture inside a classroom so that understanding and cultural understanding will be done. Number two, for us to also understand the learner and its culture is that we need to listen and learn from learners. What does it mean? Teachers should take time to listen to the learners and learn about their cultural backgrounds and experiences. They can also do this by conducting interviews, surveys, also informal conversation with learners and their families. It's very important for us to have proper understanding of the learner's cultural background. Third is we need to also understand the learner's culture by being engaged in cultural humility. What does it mean? Cultural humility involves recognizing one's own culture biases and limitation, meaning as teachers, we are number one to set aside our cultural biases and limitations and being open to learning from others. Teachers should also approach learners' culture with humility and also willingness to learn. So, meaning as teachers, we should not assume that we know all cultures. Rather, study the culture of our learners and also help ourselves understand the culture of our learners so that we can promote cultural understanding. Then, third is we need to understand, or we can understand learners' culture by incorporating cultural knowledge into instruction. So that is why, as I have said a while ago, we need to have proper understanding of the cultural background of our learners so that we can incorporate cultural knowledge into our instruction. So teachers should also incorporate cultural knowledge in their instruction, such as using examples, for example, making materials that reflect learners' cultural backgrounds and experiences. This is the time that we can effectively use localization in teaching and learning delivery. This can help learners also connect the content and see it's relevant in their own lives. Meaning, if we connect the culture of our learners and incorporate it in the classroom setting instruction, then this is an avenue for the learners for them to meaningfully understand the content of the learner, the content of our lessons. Next, in order also to understand the learner's culture, we need to seek input from families and communities. So that is why it's very important that we have to understand the background of our learners in the context of their families and communities that they are living also. So how can we do this? As teachers, we can seek input from learners, families, and communities as they can provide valuable insights on learners' cultural beliefs, practices, and values. So before we incorporate in our teaching and learning session the practices and learners' belief, we need to properly understand their cultural beliefs and practices so that we can effectively advocate and incorporate and highlight practices that are relevant in the teaching or in the teaching and learning session that we are conducting inside the classroom. Next is we can also understand the learner's culture by understanding learner's culture. And that is essential for creating culturally responsive learning environment. Take note that our goal in the teaching and learning is that we can create a culturally responsive learning environment that meets their academic, also their social, and their academic, social, and emotional needs. We need to feed also the cultural background of our learners so that they will not be bullied. Instead, they will be accepted inside the classroom and they will not be ashamed of their cultural background because they can see and perceive that it is accepted inside the classroom. So by incorporating different practices of our learners, that is a good avenue for them to relate on the teaching and learning session we have inside the classroom. So why it's very important to advocate on culturally relevant teaching strategies. Number one, it is important to really advocate on culturally relevant teaching strategies because once again, as I have said earlier, we are promoting inclusivity. Inclusivity in teaching and learning is a way wherein as teachers we are recognizing the values of diverse cultural background and experiences of our learners in the classroom. And thus, we are creating a more inclusive learning environment where all students can feel seen and heard inside the classroom, regardless of their cultural beliefs and background. Number two, when we are promoting culturally relevant teaching strategies or we're using culturally relevant teaching strategies, it helps students to connect what they are learning, their own cultural experiences, and perspectives, making the learning process more relevant and meaningful to them. In other words, this can lead them to increase engagement, motivation, and academic achievement, as I have said a while ago. Then, of course, another thing is that it's very important, or it's the importance of culturally relevant teaching strategies is that it also encourage critical thinking among the learners. Why? As they are exposed to diverse perspective and encourage them to question and challenge their own assumptions and biases, this can lead to the development of their critical thinking skills. So meaning, as the teachers are doing some critical thinking sessions with the learners, because we are challenging them of their might be false assumption and biases, then it can create or help the learners to think deeply inside the classroom. Okay? Next is, it can also improves communication skills. Why? It provides opportunities also for the students to share their own cultural knowledge and experiences. And so, because of that, they can improve their communication intrapersonally inside the classroom. Next is, importance of relevant teaching strategies is that if we are using this, the learners also will be able to prepare the real world. So meaning, the learners may have the right perspective of the different culture inside them or around them. So in today's globalized world, cultural competence is increasingly important. Culturally relevant teaching strategies help prepare students to navigate and succeed in diverse cultural contexts. So meaning, we can help our learners to understand cultural diversity that is having or that we are having inside our society. So as a whole, or in summary, culturally relevant teaching strategies are important because they promote inclusivity inside learning, encourage critical thinking, and improve communication skills, and prepare students to the real world. And by incorporating these strategies into the teaching and learning sessions, educators can create a more engaging and effective learning strategies not only for one learner but for all the learners. And here are ways to promote culturally relevant teaching strategies for the learners. Number one, in order for us to promote culturally relevant teaching strategies for the learners' engagement, we have to get to know our learners. So as I have said a while ago, getting to know our learners could help us to have better perspective. Number two, we need to incorporate culturally relevant context, meaning we can use our literature, music, art, and other content that reflects diverse cultures, and it can be presented inside a classroom. So this can help make the learning experience among the learners engaging and relevant for the students inside the classroom, since we are incorporating their cultural background. Third is, by doing this, in order to promote relevant teaching strategies, we can also make connections. How are we going to do this? We can help our students to make connections between what they are learning and their own cultural experiences, meaning they can validate their cultural experiences through the learning inside the classroom. For this, we can help also, and they can help this to increase engagement and motivation inside the classroom. Number four, we can also promote culturally relevant teaching strategies by encouraging student participation inside the classroom. How can we do this? We can do this by the provision of opportunities for our learners to share their own cultural knowledge and experiences. So meaning, this is also a way that our learners can incorporate their experiences through a class, let's say, discussion, presentation, or even projects now that we are having or commissioning our learners to have. So this can help also build sense of community and, above all, as I said a while ago, create a sense of engagement inside the classroom. Then, of course, number five, it also create a safe, inclusive learning environment for our learners. As I have said, it's very important to create safe and inclusive learning environment, and that our learners feel accepted inside the classroom regardless of their cultural background. Number six, it can collaborate, or we can collaborate with families and communities. So in order to really promote culturally relevant teaching strategies, we can collaborate with families and communities. So we can work with families and communities to build with partnership so that they can support culturally relevant teaching strategies. We can also tap elders of the community. For example, if you are just a new teacher in a community wherein you have observed different cultural practices, then you can invite somebody, like for example, an elder of the community, to help you also explain that practices that you want to highlight inside the teaching and learning session. Then, number 7, this can be an avenue also for professional development for you as teachers. Why? As you seek out professional development opportunities to learn more about culturally relevant teaching strategies and how to incorporate them to your teaching practice. So as teachers, you can also reflect your own professional practice and how are you going to incorporate cultural practices that is present in your community. In that sense, you will grow as professional teacher in your teaching career. So in summary, promoting culturally relevant teaching strategies for learners' engagement involves getting to know our students, incorporating their culturally relevant content, then also making connections, encouraging student participation. In this way, we can create a safe and inclusive learning environment. And also, we can collaborate with families and communities and seek out professional development opportunities for yourself as teacher. And this, by doing this, you will become more effective in teaching career. So, I hope that by these lessons and sharings that I have this afternoon, all of us will be able also to enhance our skills on how are we going to cooperate or to incorporate in our listening contents when in terms of cultures and the different diversities that is around us. So by incorporating these strategies in your teaching, you can create a more engaging and effective learning experience not only for one learner but for all the students inside the classroom. So thank you so much for having me this afternoon, and I hope that you also you have also gained some insights on the presentation that I have this afternoon. Thank you so much, and once again, good afternoon. Sir, back to you. Thank you, sir. Back to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely, sir. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers learned something new, which was only our intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers, sir. Once again, thank you so much, dear sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, time for the question answer part, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part, the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. So after a short video, we will be come back. HB knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box. Our speaker is waiting for your questions. Sir, our first question in the screen. Hi sir, good afternoon. The topic discussed was very good for me because I'm also a teacher, but I have questions. What strategy or technique can you give me in order to maintain a good learn environment to my children? From
Okay.
Facebook user.
Thank you so much for this question. um, the name of the one who asked the question is not invaded in his question, but I think one of the strategy that you can use is that you need to really know the cultural background of the place that you are teaching, because if you are keen enough to understand the culture that your learners are having in the community that they are living, you will become effective teacher inside the classroom, and you can also set a good learning environment if you understand the culture or the cultural diversity of your learners, and not only promoting one culture, but you are really embracing all the cultures of your learner inside the classroom. Since we know that classroom this time is composed of diverse learners. So for that to for cultural understanding to happen inside the classroom, it's very important that you as teacher, you have to understand and individually understand the culture of your learners for you to really make a good input and good content of your teaching and learning sessions inside the classroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you sir for your answer. Dear IGP knowledge, just please ask your question in the comments.
Also, as I have said a while ago, also, as teacher, we need to really seek proper understanding of the cultures that is present in our community or in the locality where the school is located, because by doing that, we can have a right perspective on the learners' practices and the community practices also in terms of their cultural traditions. So that is why, by proper understanding of the cultural tradition of the community where the school is located, then you can have a good input in your content to be incorporated in your classroom discussion.
Sir, IGP knowledge, just please ask your question in the comment box.
I think no more questions,
Okay,
sir.
no one. I hope covered your topic properly. So here is no question.
I hope they understand. Anyway, cultural diversity
Sir, one
is
question.
really an issue worldwide. Okay, so there is one question from Miss Hannah Akuto.
Hanan.
Okay, and she said, "Good afternoon, sir. Social studies teacher are good at incorporating strategies you mentioned. How can other subject teachers incorporate culturally relevant strategies inside the classroom?" Okay, it's good, Miss Hannah Akoto. Yes, it's really true that if you are a social studies teacher, you can rightly incorporate all these strategies as a teacher inside the classroom. But you know what? You can incorporate also these styles to teaching mathematics. For example, you will have to require the learners to bring their cultural artifacts and use that. For example, if you are teaching grade 1 or first grade, then you can ask them to bring some cultural artifacts and use that in, for example, counting, no, or by doing that, you can have a good relalia, and then the picture of that can be used in counting or in teaching. For example, you are teaching the first grade how to count, then you can use that relalia also in counting numbers. Okay. Another thing is if you are teaching fourth grade to six, then you can have an artifact in the community that is part of their cultural heritage and let the learners, for example, your lesson is about composition, then you can ask them to compose or to write about that particular artifacts that you ask them to bring inside the classroom and then let them describe. Okay, so you can incorporate that in mathematics, in English. It's just a matter of really strategizing how are you going to incorporate cultural tradition that is being practiced by our learners. As I have said, by doing that, you can revitalize the learning session because the learners will be able to feel um, revitalization of their culture, and of course they can feel their cultural importance inside the classroom. So regardless of what subject you are teaching, just strategize how are you going to incorporate cultural facts and artifacts for you to incorporate inside the classroom regardless of what subject matter are you teaching. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Hannah. I hope you are satisfied with
Thank
my answer.
you for your.
Yeah, it's good. According to one of the Facebook user also that we have, sir, he said, this is very relatable to my contemporary literature. Yeah, contemporary literature talks about the different facts practices of a particular region, for example, in grade 11. So that is very good. You can really incorporate that inside your classroom. So this is a very good venture for your learner to also discover the richness and the diversity of their cultural practices. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It's been all listeners. Please ask your question in the comment box.
I think no more question.
Sir, sir, I think you covered full topic. So, totally. So, here is no question. So, sir. Let's start our next process.
Sir, I think this question is for you. According to this Facebook user, why is it that his name is not reflected in the screen? But she was, or he was so thankful that he was recognized. I just also do not know why the name is not reflected.
Sir, I can't see. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
your
you.
rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely.
Yeah.
After your
Thank you so
presentation,
much.
I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which once again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics is some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professionals growth. Honorable Sir, hope to you see you in the next topic and the next session and the next date. Thank you, sir. Take care. Honorable Sir, before we move to the certification process, if you want to leave this studio, you can, sir.
So once again, I'd like to thank the IGP community for allowing me for having me here today. Although I have experienced technicalities, but still you're really so patient with me this afternoon. I hope that my sharing also help us and help our viewers and subscribers to have proper understanding on their practices inside the classroom. Thank you so much.
For a nice,
Again, good afternoon.
thank you, sir, for coming. You can leave this studio, you can, sir. IHP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IHP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Thank you. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. To join the online quiz competition, follow my instruction carefully. First of all, you have to go www.slido.com and find today's quiz or scan this QR code for direct joining. And the quiz code is global IGP and the quiz code is after a short video we will come back for our quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. Already 29 people joining us for quiz competition. Please mention your friend in the comment box for direct joining for quiz competition. Please join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. Please join in Slido with code and the code is global IGP. First of all, you have to go www.slido.com and find today's quiz for direct joining. And the code is global IGP. We will pick your name from quiz or Slido. So we join your full name, which will be directly printed on certificate. So Join in Slido with code and the code is Global IG. 33 people join with us. IGP knowledge seekers, please mention your friend. IGP knowledge seekers, please mention your friend. 33 people join with us for quiz competition. Join the Slido with code. We are already waiting for your participation. Let's start. Our first question: what are the strategies for boosting comprehensions? First option is reading question, read aloud, and summarization. And second option is reading, summarizing question, and presentation. Is the right answer. First option is the right answer, and 81% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our second main question in this session is intergestic culturally relevant content to build on learners' background knowledge. First option is 4, and second option is 2. It is the right answer. 4 is the right answer, and 94% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our 3 question is how to different product our students. First option is allow students to show mystery however they like, and second option is allow student to only show mystery and understand way. Which is the right answer? First option is the right answer, and 85% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our fourth question is a small group in which student take charge, a small group activity in which each student has a role. First option is guide reading, and second option is reciprocal reciprocal teaching. Which is the right answer? Reciprocal teaching is the right answer, and summary is like the next one. 5 question is the strategy is the best of supporting fluency in ELL student. First option is silent in the independent reading, and second option is oral reading of the same text. same take 15 minutes. Sixth question is Sammy answer Mr. Paul question completely wrong. Mr. Paul reword the question and allows some time for Sammy to rethink. And first option is dedication, and second option is wait time. Dedication is the right answer, and 90% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our seventh one question is allow for accountability in regard to how students' academic performance in strategic testing. First option is no child left behind 2002, and second option is child left behind Act 2002. First option is the right answer, and 100% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our eighth question is the time management is important because it establishes a routine that account for pause there for plan ahead. Is it true or false? True is the right answer, and 100% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our ninth question is illusion calls for ESE students to be a general education classrooms like their peers. True or false? True is the right answer, and 96% people are right. Moving to the next question, and our 10th one question is which learning theory that in order for a child to master a skill, guidance and encourage from a knowledgeable person, Skinner and Vacchirogoski. Vacchirogoski is the right answer, and 55% people are right. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners. Top 10 congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that, we will issue our quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group, Institute of Global Professionals. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners. Top 10 congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our Facebook official page and group, Institute of Global Professionals. If at the end moment of our session we can say properly fits your skill, never stop learning because life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say hit the end live button, again wants to thanks to all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participations as always. See you in the next session. Thank you.